Yes guys, and welcome back to Keep Smiling Adventures. Today, as you can see, we are on the Canyon Aeroad because today I felt like getting outside, back on this bike, because it was so much fun actually riding it at 300 miles. I realised how much I missed it. But something I always lacking since moving into Dorset is the hills. I always head to the New Forest and I always end up it's just not hilly there. So today we've come over to the Purbecks. We're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna get some hills in and some descents. And we're just gonna have a good ride around the Purbecks. So let's go over to Chescam and let's have a good ride around the Purbecks.
One thing I really wish I had done today is bring a bloody jacket. I thought it was going to be warmer. It's currently about 5 degrees, maybe 6. It's pretty cold. First little climb of the day into Studland. Quite a nice little climb. Nothing too strenuous to start the day off with, but a nice climb nevertheless. Nice sleepy village. So I think today what we're going to do, we're going to head from here down to Swanage, over to Corfe Castle, then I think maybe down into like West Lulworth, and then sort of loop back around. Probably be around, I don't know, maybe like 50 miles for the day. Nothing too crazy. Just want to get some hills in, get a bit of elevation, try and get my fitness back, my road bike fitness anyway. As you can see, it wasn't such a bad hill, quite nice, peaceful, especially at this time in the morning. Everyone's asleep. I mean, it's not that early, but it's like 8:41. So we made it to the top of that hill now, and the great thing is once you get to the top of Studland Hill is this little flat section leads to a massive descent all the way to Swanage, where you can definitely get a good 40 mile an hour, whatever that is in kilometers, I don't know. Hopefully we won't get stuck behind any cars, because that happens. But it's an awesome little descent. You literally just tuck up and then it flattens out for a section, but you get to keep your speed, pedal into it, shift through some gears and fly down the hill. Oh my god, my hands are freezing. So I want them climbs. Okay, so after this little lip, we're going to have some fun descending. Drop down a few gears, get in the drops. descent into Swanage is like a really nice one because the road is wide enough, as you can see, and then you can normally get like a good solid run all the way into Swanage. I definitely had the wind not in my favour then, but I managed to hold about 35 miles per hour, which was pleasant. Second little climb for the day is well, when you ever go to any seaside town in Britain, in England, or anywhere in the UK really, probably anywhere in the world really, actually, you got to climb out of that seaside town. This one always, in my head, I feel like it's going to be worse than it is. It's not like that steep, but it's I think you can hear the cows, and you can smell the cows. But it's quite a nice little climb. Tends to be quite quiet, which is good. And it goes up to a place called Kingston. Beautiful views when you get to the top. But I am always scared of our next descent. I don't know, it just scares me. It's got a few little turns. I never feel that comfortable on it. The road's not the nicest. But you know, we're going to descend it again today. I don't know if you can tell, but I really need some new bar tape on this bike. You see these little dots here? And that one, just there. That was from the 300-mile bike ride, because blood pressure, little blood blisters when you're on the actual metal of the bar, not that great. So yeah, I need to get some new bar tape. This is probably the only not so fun bit most of the time, because you have cars parked on each side. Quite often cars won't stop and you just get crushed.
I mean, as you can see, when you get to the top of that climb, you have this awesome road. This road's pretty much always quite quiet. Every time I've been on this road, it's been pretty quiet. There's a few cars every now and again, but it's really quiet. You're basically on a ridge, so you get to fly down it. If you've got the wind in your favour, this road is amazing because you can just like coast at 30 miles an hour. But you are literally right on top of everything. You've got Corfe Castle down there. It's a bit overcast today, so you can't really see everything so great. But it is just awesome. The wind's not really doing me any favours today because it's just going across me, but it's still beautiful up here and I love it up here. And now we're going to head over to the next descent, which is Kingston descent. I think it's called that. I'm not sure what it's called on Strava. I'll put the name up, but this one actually scares me a little bit, so let's head over there now.
We're going to head into Kingston here right now. Oh, I don't like it. Also got cars behind me. It's not fun. Tiny little turns. actually saw when I got to the bottom, there was a truck, and quite a lot of trucks come up there and they just take up the whole road, and it's just scary, to be honest. I never get the line right, and I'm just crap at descending that hill. So there you get a really good view of Corfe Castle coming through Corfe. So that was coming through Corfe. Corfe can get pretty busy. Even today on a Saturday morning, it's relatively busy. It's probably the busiest section of around the Purbecks, I would say, apart from Wareham. But when you come around here, it can be just that little section. Going through Corfe is a little bit sketchy sometimes, and it's not that fun. But as soon as you turn off onto this road, it's pretty good. And in your rear view mirror, if you've got one, you can see the castle. It's a really nice view. So yeah, that is the castle. That's the view you get in your rear view mirror, and you get a little climb out of Corfe. This road is actually a really fun descent. If you come the other way, it just feels epic because you get like the sight of Corfe. It's pretty nice to ride. It's pretty quiet, and it just feels good. Now we're going into like unknown territory now because I don't really know where I'm going. Just taking a left off of that little road onto an even littler road. So hopefully it'll be fun. It looks like it's going to descend, and then it looks like it loops all the way around and comes back up this hill. So hopefully that'll be a good little climb. Let's descend. We're going up again. This looks a fun climb. They're really like deceiving. They look like they're going to go on forever, and then they just sort of flatten out. Normally I'd be like, that's quite a good thing, but I kind of want to keep going uphill today. One, because I'm gold, two, because I want to get a bit fitter. Oh look, baby sheep, baby lambs. Okay, back to climbing. No stopping to take more pictures of baby sheep. Bye, baby sheep! So good. So good. Sometimes you just need to go somewhere a bit different, and then that really helps with getting that motivation back, especially with this bike, because I sometimes lose interest. Oh, look at it. Just look at it. If my calculations are correct, going uphill means you must go downhill. So, look at that cricket. I'm going to put it on the map so I can see what we're dealing with. And it's sending! Alright. climb for the day is, I don't really know what this one's called, but it basically goes up to where I couldn't go through the firing range, because at the top of this hill, as you turn left, there's a firing range. I'm not sure if it's open today. We're going to see. If it is, we might go around that way. I don't know, we'll see. Whew. Let's make it up, because this climb's actually pretty tough. I've done this one so many times now. I always remember coming up this climb when I did the coast of Britain. With all my bags, it was probably the first one that I would have, like the first climb that I would have considered, oh, this is quite a steep climb. I have a feeling it's going to be closed. There's a red flag up here. This is where it sort of gets steep, gets quiet. This is probably the tougher section, but at least got a bit of chance to warm up, and it kind of looks like the top bit might be open, because it looks like there's a van, a caravan going through it. Oh, let's get into this rhythm. I did say I wanted some climbing, so this is good. And it looks like, for the first time in my life, this road is actually open. So I'm going to actually go down it. I've never been down it. It was closed when I did the coast of Britain. It was closed when I did. So I did like the sunrise to sunset gravel bike challenge. So finally, we can go through it. This is so nice to be able to go this way, because normally you have to go back on yourself to come all the way around just to get to where essentially this road takes you, which isn't that bad, but this is much nicer. And it's a quiet, smooth road, and I think it's going to descend into East Lower.
That was the descent into West Lulworth. That one's like super fun because the road is super open, but if you do that descent in a touristy season, it's rubbish basically. That's why I don't really come over this section much in the summer, because it's just like way too busy with cars and stuff. So I only really have one climb, and that's the one I've just come down, which is probably the longest, I'd say. Maybe the steepest, probably not the steepest, but it feels probably the longest. Right, it is time for the final little climb of this video anyway. I've probably got a couple more, but this is the final little climb out of West Lulworth. Really need new bar tape, so uncomfortable. So far today I've actually only done 31 miles, and so far 2,600 feet of climbing. Not bad. And let me put that into perspective, because I could do 100 miles around the New Forest and maybe only get about 5,000 feet of climbing, 4,000. 100 miles, and basically I've done half of that in just over a quarter of the actual distance. So if you want hills, the Purbeck is pretty good for it. Well guys, I've made it up my final little hill for the day. No problem. It was a nice little ride today. Probably got about 20 miles to go to get home, but it's all rather boring. Wow, I say boring, it's still the Purbecks, it's still really nice. So, if you have enjoyed this video around the Purbecks, a little up and down adventure, it would be awesome if you would hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to grow this channel a bit, trying to upload a bit more regularly, and hitting that like button would mean the world. So until next time, enjoy the adventure, keep smiling, peace.